So this video will be made available also on our YouTube channel. But as soon after this interview with your good self, I will make the video available on YouTube so that your followers can access it and everyone who wanted to join this interview. But thank you so much for joining us. It's
Thank
pleasure.
you for having me.
Yeah, it's a pleasure having you today. So now I think I need to start introducing you shortly, and then you can start telling us about Zama and your business and just your journey, your whole journey. Can you, is your video on? Okay, or you prefer it like that?
Oh, you would like my, oh, okay. So is it fine if I stay like that? Oh, okay.
No, no,
okay. Oh, wow.
Okay. No, it is fine. It is fine. It is also fine.
All right, here I am.
Okay, no problem, Zama. Okay, let us start today's episode. And the lockdown chat with Nos, Roal, and Mbuyi is proudly sponsored, or rather proudly powered by Enable South Africa, which is a non-profit company that is aimed at cultivating entrepreneurship skills amongst young people, and also mostly for young people to uncover the tools that will help them to be able to maximize their potential in whatever field and avenue they're in. So Enable is all about that. So this show is under Enable South Africa. And the Lockdown Chat, also season 2, we're focusing on entrepreneurs who are doing phenomenal stuff and changing the game. And we believe that you are also one of the game changers. And I've been looking at your work. You've done well for yourself, Zama. You've done well for yourself, and you are having a great impact. You know, and I was just watching. I was listening. There's a podcast that you were once in. I forgot the name of the podcast, but you know about it. Sludge something. But it's
Sludge Underground. Yes, Sludge Underground.
Yeah. So you've done well for yourself, and continue doing amazing work. Just to start off the show, Robert L. Peters once said, "Design creates culture, culture shapes the values, and values also determine the future." And ladies and gentlemen, our guest today is a cultural curator. First time I heard this word. First time, and I was like, curator, they create cultures now, okay, whatever. So I was like, okay, I'll hear from your good self what it's all about. But Zama is the founder of Itheku Connect. Am I right?
Yes.
So she comes from a small town, Kwandengezi. She is a cultural curator. What she does, she says, it's a person who thrives at keeping the culture alive. So she engages with different creatives in various in their respective fields, and also now she's created the platform which is called Itheku Connect, and which they speak about stories of creatives in various industries. They also bring videos, images, and also engage authors, musicians, and let me just say creatives in general. So Zama, ladies and gentlemen, if I could also add, you've done amazing stuff. You know, your portfolio is just very broad and very wide. And this Women's Month, we are honoring women, phenomenal women who are having impact, you know, changing the game, and mostly, as I was just reading that quote, people who are just shaping the direction of the future. And we believe that you are that individual, and thus you are in this show today. Welcome to the show, Zama.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. No, I'll just leave everything to you. Just tell us about your journey. And then once you're done, I have some few questions that I have for you.
Sure. So basically, as you've just said, Zama Khumalo is a culture curator. Basically, a culture curator, you can just call them a collector or a person that just loves to know more about the culture that they're in, and basically keeping archives or speaking to people that are basically making an impact, because as the saying goes, no man is an island, and it's always important to note of people who have done things before your time and who've created an impact in their own way. So that's basically my aim of not only being a culture curator, but also being creating Itheku Connect. And then within what I do as well is that I'm in the media industry as well. I love the media industry, have always been about the media industry, working in different platforms, working with different people. I mean, I've been working at OMD Media, SABC, Europa, and things of that nature, just to get an understanding of the media industry and how it's actually brought me now to where I am today, of creating my own platform and trying to empower other people as well, other creatives as well.
So, okay. Thank you so much for sharing us with that one. I was going through your Instagram, and you've written something. I don't know whether you wrote something or you were featured, okay, on Medium by Mohale Ratiba.
Yes.
Yeah. So you speak a lot about collaboration, and I think in the creative industry, you, as you are saying, no man is an island. You cannot make it alone. Just like tell me about the power of collaboration and how that has impacted your work. Like, what does collaboration mean to Zama?
Collaboration is key for Uzama, first of all, because that's how not only do you empower yourself, but you, as I said before, you empower other people. And also people bring in different perspectives in order for you not only to evolve, but also for the whole system. So for instance, I'm in the creative field, I'm in the media industry. And in order for me to try and evolve the environment that I'm in, I've obviously got to go and collaborate with other people who are like-minded like myself. And I feel that also with collaboration, you're able to not only just empower, but you're able to just have a sense of respect for each other's work as well, because other people don't understand each other's work. But when you collaborate, you get a greater sense of what is Usman doing or what is whoever doing. And then you understand that, okay, fine. In order for us to actually get to a level where we understand, we have to obviously have that level of respect, but not only for each other, but we also have to have a level of respect for each other's work as well.
And that is really, really profound. And I have another question now. I want to ask you, what are your objectives, or what you wanted to really achieve with Itheku Connect, and what is it all about? Maybe someone out there may want to be involved in some way. Yeah.
Sure. Okay, so there's a saying that I love saying to people that I found so profound. So the famous musician Tanda Swamazwai, she spoke about how, our legends, they weren't able to like be profiled, or their stuff wasn't really photographed or whatever. And it got me thinking, in the sense that, there are so many people that are doing great things, but number one, we probably don't know who they are, or number two, we don't know of their work. So I felt that this was, in a way, a platform where you would give credit to where it's due. And this is the platform that also creatives can actually obviously speak about their work, and also creating a platform which of something wasn't existence in another time, like years ago. It probably was, but we just didn't know about it. And that's always the key issue, that there's something that's in existence, but we just don't know who it belongs to or what it is. And I felt that with Itheku Connect, it was a way of basically paying respect and homage to people who are doing amazing things, and people who are still doing amazing things as well, because there are people that are doing amazing things that we may not be aware of, as I mentioned before. So that was basically the aim of Itheku Connect, and just giving a voice out to people.
And do you mind sharing some of the projects that you guys have been involved in as Itheku Connect?
So, right now, because it was still like new, it only started like in May, but the value that it has had. I mean, in the fact that I'm even able to be here and explain it, that's just something on its own, I even did an interview with Keith Murray. He is a famous rapper, and for me, that was just a starter of like, wow, okay, you know what, I'm actually able to do something of that magnitude. And that's what I'm talking about, the power of collaboration, because Keith Murray is someone that was once well known, but now, because now times have obviously changed, people don't know of his work. Like the younger generation, younger than me, don't know of his work and don't know of his impact. So that's what I mean by the power of collaboration. And also having like people in agencies saying that, wow, we actually like the work that you're doing. We would like to work with you, or we just really admire what you're doing right now. It's really impactful, and it's motivating us to like be better, or just motivating us to seek other people who are of the same magnitude as you. Because that on its own for me is just inspiration that, you know what, there's someone out there that's actually looking at my work and is getting inspired by it.
Most definitely, and your work is really, really inspiring. And you've been in the creative industry for some time, right? And but then you took a decision to create a platform. You know, we always advocating here that people need to start building their own table rather than wanting a chair, you know, in the table, but rather just create your own table. And you've been doing that. So now, why is it so important, especially for young entrepreneurs, to not just follow, but to create, to be able to be creators and innovators rather than always being the followers and the consumers?
Sure. I mean, you know what? At the end of the day, we are all leaders in our own rights, and if you are able to lead your own way, you never know what you might find going forward. So I always feel that if you create your own platform, you go by your own rules, and you will obviously have people that will resonate with what you're doing, because you may be that person that has broken the mold, or you may have been that person that has broken the rules that a lot of people can understand and can follow as well. Because like you said, you get people that are just like sheep and they just follow, which there's, you know, in a way there's nothing wrong with that, because some people just want to live
That's
like
true.
a normal life, but
That's
there are people who would like to just lead extraordinary lives, or just be extraordinary leaders, and it's those people who have a lot of courage into breaking the mold. So I always feel that it's important to do that, because you create your own you create your own rules, you create a way in which people will be able to resonate and understand whatever you're doing. So it's always important that you lead the way, because you may be that person that a person may have needed to be inspired by.
And you know, when you speak about leading the way, it's also one of the things that we recently had the Pioneers Guild at Enable, which is a conference that we advocating that people, you know, it's okay to be the trailblazer. It's okay, you know, to start the way. It's okay to take the road that is less traveled. And for me, that is really, really, really powerful. Just can you kindly share with me the challenges that you faced, especially as US just starting at a very hectic period, but what challenges have you faced in the industry, and also during this period as you've just started with your company?
Sure. For me, being self-empowered, it's such a hard thing. Yes, you may be able to, but sometimes trying to convince people on your projects is one of the most hardest things ever. And trying to even stay inspired by it, because you may fulfill your objective, but staying inspired and saying that, no, I'm going to get at it, it's a hard thing, I'm not going to lie. And I'm always grateful in the sense that I'm able to get inspiration, and just I'm very honest with myself. And there are going to be days also. Another thing that I want to note out, even if you're not a creative or you are creative, you must also take it easy on yourself and be patient, because the results won't come at the time that you desire. You know, like for instance, if you get a person from overseas who says, okay, yes, I'm keen on being featured or anything like that, and you're all happy, and it doesn't happen at the time that you need it, you've got to learn to be like, okay, it's not now, but some other time it will happen. So that's what I mean by being patient with yourself. The followers will come through. As long as you push the way that you need to, it will happen, but you need to be very patient with yourself. And I understand that it's a very, very hard thing to do at times, because you set certain goals and you have certain expectations, because you're so surrounded by people saying congratulations, and you're like, when is my time? But your time could be not, it could be months, or it could be even years from now, and you've got to learn to live with that, unfortunately, you know.
And you know, I'm just thinking that definitely there's no need for one to impose, because most of the pressures, you know, we're the one who are imposing pressure on ourselves, self-imposed pressure. But as you're speaking about being patient with yourself, to not impose any pressure, you know, on yourself, especially because this video, we have a lot of young upcoming businesses that are coming. You know, I can just see them benefiting from these words that you are sharing with us. I would like to quote something that you've said. You said you've actually said one day, from my everyday living, I research on the latest trends that are happening within the creative industry, interact with creatives, and see which ways and how I can further improve not only my brand, but that of others. It seems small, but trust me, it is actually quite hectic. So for you to evolve, I can see that you're a constant learner in life. How is that important for you to be a constant learner in this life and to be always wanting to evolve? Tell me about that.
That is, for me, if you are a person that is got a curious nature and wants to get ahead in life, you have to be a student of life. And you've also got to learn that you're not going to be right all the time and things are not going to happen your way. So you learn through that. You know, for me, I'll just give an example. There was a time when like I would take criticism so personally. I would think that I'm failing at life, but obviously through evolving and learning that, you know what, at the end of the day, you need to take that criticism and use it into your own, you know, everyday living. And you've obviously got to just learn from what you're doing. It has helped me so immensely now. Like when someone tells me that, no, Zama, you need to do ABC, I'm like, okay, no, I understand. And I totally get it. And, you know, I'm going to implement it this way because, if you're students of life, you've always got to have that hunger for success. Even if you get to where you need to be at life, you've still got to be hungry to, you know, make sure that you maintain it and make sure that others around you are also uplifted, just like how you were as well. So that's what I mean by being a student of life, that you've always got to learn, you've always got to evolve in whatever you're doing because times change. What we've, like, for instance, what we're going through right now with the whole lockdown, it has taught us that things can change within a minute or even a second. And we must never be comfortable in what we're doing because anything can change at any given second. It can either upgrade you or degrade you. So you've just got to learn how to just roll with the punches and make sure that whatever you do, you are uplifting others and making sure that you're also uplifting yourself at the same time.
That is really true, Vetu. So now, for most upcoming brands, you know, consistency is a big problem. You know, sometimes you feel discouraged, you know, especially in our generation, like I'm not getting enough likes, I'm not getting enough reshares and whatnot, less views. But how I want to find out, you were once quoted saying, if you're starting or maintaining a brand, be consistent and people will be drawn to what you're offering. You will attract your tribe. How is consistency, and I can see that you're someone who's always advocating consistency. How have you been, and how has consistency helped you, and how can someone also learn from that? And, you know, why is consistency important, you know, for upcoming brands?
Yeah, consistency is important if you want to get noticed. Consistency is important if you want to grow. Consistency, excuse me, is important as a brand because that's how you are able to attract the people that you would want, or even potential people at the same time. You know, like I said, that sometimes, you know, we get so consumed with likes, views and everything. And, you know, the funny thing is, and it really is no like shade or it's nothing hectic, but you can buy that. And if you do that organically, you feel some type of way that, okay, wow, I've actually achieved this, I've actually done this, and this is the way that I am going to carry on, obviously maintaining.
It's just fulfillment, you know.
Fulfillment, yes. Because like I said, actually, I just brought up a valid point that, like, it's a standard that you are setting. And once you start from little, you just gain your momentum going up and everything. You see that, okay, within the standard that I'm setting, these are the type of people that are following me at the end of the day. So it's always good that when you have that consistency, people will respect you more. Because you don't have to, it's like when you have a blog, for instance, and you want people to like follow you and everything like that, you don't have to like post every single day now to, you know, get attention and everything. And it's funny because I was speaking to a friend of mine and I said to him, look, I understand that you want to build the brand and you want people to notice you, but you're tired. You're tired because that's another thing that people don't speak about, the level of exhaustion, because mental health is a very, very important topic. And a very important topic that needs to be spoken amongst entrepreneurs, that if you, at any given point, you feel that you're burning out or this, whatever task you're doing is making you tired, take a break. There's no problem from that. People will come back to you because they know exactly what standard you've set and the brand that you are at the end of the day, and they will definitely resonate with you. No one said that Rome obviously was built in like a day. It wasn't built in a day. It was an empire that was needed to be consistent, and people had to just follow a set of standards to get to where they need to be. So the consistency helps with not only maintaining a brand, but it also sets a standard for you at the end of the day.
And that is what I really relate to that, because we live, especially content creators, and there's always that urge to create. But then the problem is, when do you recharge, and then we end up creating so much that there's just nothing left of us, and I've been taking a break from doing a lot of things because I'm one person who needs inspiration. I just don't want to create for the sake of creating, because that's what we're going to be witnessing out there. People, like, you can see that, okay, this person needs to take a break, but they just keep on creating for the sake of being called consistent. And I like what you're saying. At times, one needs to take a break, from everything. It just reminds me of something that you once said. I've been reading.
You see that? I can see that.
You speak about clout. You say don't don't get caught up in noise of social media pressure. Don't do negative things that you normally wouldn't do because you feel that it'll garner your attention. Avoid all of that at all costs, because it will come back to bite you if you're not aware. Clout is temporary, but damage to your name will always be there. So it brings me back to these words that you once said, and I want to ask you now, if you're taking a break from everything, what your meditation space, what space do you go to after the whole business and all of your work? Which space do you feel like this is your sanctuary? This is where you find rest, you can meditate. What space is that for Zama?
For me, it's just basically being in my room or being at home or being by the beach. Those are like my sanctuary places where I'm able to listen to music and basically able to also read as well, because I also like reading. It's just that sometimes I just don't have the time for it, but I love reading, just to obviously gain some peace and just to detox from social media. That's another very important thing. In my line of work, I have to at times, actually for anyone, you have to detox from social media, and hence the statement that you just brought up now, where I was speaking about clouds. It's so important that you mustn't follow. It's also basically to what you were saying earlier on about being a sheep, that you want to follow, you want to gain that attention and everything like that. And once that attention has sort of like disappeared, what else is there of you that people won't remember you by just for doing that certain incidents or anything like that? So for me, I always feel that one needs to just detox. One needs to always just regroup as well, because once you do that, you come back harder and stronger than ever. And obviously you see what it is that resonates with you and what doesn't resonate with you.
Okay, I'm actually enjoying this interview. Most of the things, it's actually very spontaneous for me. I did not even prepare that much, but it's just spontaneous. Because I think I really actually admire your work, and especially doing something that not everyone is doing. And I would like to hear from you. How I can imagine each and every day having to explain to people that this is what I'm doing. Do you ever find like a challenge with regards to that, and having to explain this new concept? Because I'm sure many people, it's something that is strange to them.
I mean, for me, I being a culture curator, it's always been in existence. It's like being a librarian, but the only difference is I'm centered around something very specific, which is being a creative, and I'm profiling people. So hence where you start to see the images, you see the interviews of people, me asking them questions and things like that. And I like that term because being a creative is such a vast field. It's not just only music. It's not just only photography. Even businesses itself is also creative because there are creatives who are entrepreneurs as well. So for me, it does at time, like I have to explain, but I don't mind it because I enjoy what I do. So I explain to people that, no, listen, this is what I do. I keep my finger on the pulse of the culture, try to keep the culture alive, looking at what is it that people are doing, how is it that they're doing it, and how is it that people can try and learn from not only me but basically one another, because there are lots of people that are doing amazing things, but because of maybe their age or race or anything of like that matter, there's always those limitations where people just are just like, no, we're not going to follow that person because we don't understand. But if you have a platform like Itheku Connect, which is able to just say, guys, here's Usman, or here's this person, then people are like, oh, okay, we see you, okay, we resonate with you, because that's the one thing I've realized about social media, that sometimes it takes a certain person to show that, no, this is what someone is doing, this is how they're doing it, and then people will start to change their attitudes.
And I also like that with Itheku Connect, it's gonna grow. I know that it's gonna grow rapidly because you are giving a platform and a voice to many people. But through your work, you're going to know them, because unfortunately, I don't know, our media is saturated. You find one person. I'm not saying people should not take opportunities, but you find one person occupying, different platforms all at once. You find someone there, even in television, you find someone there in various shows, 4 shows at once. And there are people that, probably would never gain their attention. And also another thing, I'm just thinking that right now, we need to inculcate and instill to young creatives that being recognized should not be the goal. It's actually doing the work, and it's sometimes I guess as society we have made recognition as validation for that you're actually doing the work. So I'm glad that your Itheku Connect is gonna bring a lot of talent that we were not aware of, and I believe that is your vision. But I want to ask you now, right now we're on lockdown. I want to find out how has it affected you, and how has also affected the creative industry at large during this period.
For me, I'm not even gonna lie, like this lockdown, number one, it gave me the courage and the strength to actually just do the platform itself. So I'm really appreciative of lockdown in that sense, that it pushed me to actually just do it, because it had been a vision that I wanted to do, but I just didn't have the time, and I just didn't have the courage in doing it, that I'm able to do it by myself and things like that, because you always have those voices that, no, you're gonna fail at this, or you're not gonna make it in that, and people are gonna like complain about this. But sometimes you just have to pluck up the courage and just build as time goes by. And it goes back to the previous statement that I made, that you set a certain standard for yourself. How it has affected me, it's affected me in the sense that, for instance, if I wanted to go to a certain place, or there was a certain thing that was happening, I was very restricted in that sense. And, digital age has definitely helped me out to push my brand and to push just basically the objectives that I wanted. How it has affected the creative industry here, it has affected them quite a lot. Like I speak to my industry friends, and it's very, very painful for them, because a lot of them were relying on things like events. A lot of them were relying on things of just going out and trying to spread a name for themselves. But unfortunately, they've had to like sort of re-strategize and see as to how is it that we can get ahead. And it's just been a very, very painful thing. But in the same sense as well, there's a silver lining, in the sense that now we get to see people that we didn't see before. I'll just make an example with Lockdown House Party, the program Lockdown House Party, in the sense that DJs that we didn't even know about before, but because they were given the you know, they have been able to spread their wings, and you know, they've been able to do what they needed to do. Even another, like, it's a very lame example, but I like it because in the sense that he's able to, at least he's one of those very people who was able to change his life. For Malakost, you know, we saw videos of him. You know, we saw videos of him. One of my friends helped him out with they did like sort of like a promo for Red Bull. He was able to get his family a house, those type of things. So it's those type of small examples whereby sometimes you just need a certain person to help you out, or you just need a certain platform that will help you out, as long as you strategize properly and see as to how is it that you can do it. The sky literally is just the limit for you, you know. So that's how, in the sense that it's been a silver lining within the creative industry. And also it's also been a silver lining because it also uncovered a lot of truths that we thought that we were used to and we thought that were correct, but instead it was a false perception that we had seen. So basically it was basically clearing all the smoke, the mirrors and the smokes that we had seen, the smoke and the mirrors that we had seen within the industry. So that's basically how the lockdown has helped.
That you just made me realize, you know, things that I didn't even think about. I have this question, you know, right? Since you're a cultural curator, the problem now with our creatives, right, is that yes, they do produce the work, but the problem, who owns the work? You know, this thing always affects, is always ringing in my mind that, you know, creatives, yes, they produce the work, but they do not own their work. What do you think needs to be done to empower Black creatives mostly, because this happens to us, because we do not have the relevant platforms that seeks to empower us? How can we change this, you know, teach people about ownership of their intellectual property?
Yeah. First of all, creatives also need to learn, and this just goes all across boards. It's not just only like musicians, you know, authors or whatever. But first of all, creatives, number one, need to stop having egos onto wanting to help another person. Let's start there, you know, because once that has sort of like calmed down, that's when another person is able to help you out and give you the help that basically another creative will be able to help you out. Also, give recognition to people, because that's the problem right there. People steal work, people plagiarize work, people like to take shine, and again, within that, that's only temporary. So it's always important that, number one, you need to research what you're doing. You need to research, you know, the field that you're in. You need to research who are the relevant stakeholders or the relevant people that will help you out within what you're doing. Number two, give recognition and give credit to where it's due, because you would not like it if someone were to steal your work, or someone would not give you credit for the work that you're doing at the end of the day. Three, create a platform for yourself in order for you to make your own rules, order for you to create your own standards of everything. Because we're having such a huge problem of, like you said, people want to follow, but people don't want to create their own thing. Because sometimes I think the habit that is going on is that sometimes it's not that people, I would say, yes, in a way, people are lazy to doing it, but sometimes people just want the easy way out. You know, they also want instant gratification. So I've created this, I need success for it, and I need it immediately. And it doesn't happen like that. That's why I said earlier on, you need to be very patient with yourself. Take ownership of your work. Be proud of your work at the end of the day. Oh, that's another thing. Be proud of your work. Don't hide in the sense that, oh no, who's going to see it and everything. It doesn't matter half the time, because at the end of the day, if I see that you are standing up for your work, you are doing the most, we guarantee you're going to have people that will love what you're doing and what you stand for as well.
Just, you know what, as you're speaking, I just want to ask you, please, I don't know if you could, we've got less than 5 minutes. Just this question. Sure. When you are looking for creatives that you want to work with, what do you look for?
I look for the work that they've done. I look for, the work just speaks for itself. I look for the work that they've done. To a certain degree, I would say yes, okay, fine. They follow in a small way. it does kind of matter. But for me, mainly, it's the work that they've done and how they have been able to impact other people within their work. It goes again, I did an interview with Lebo Line. The reason why I like Lebo Line is because she's a businesswoman and she's an entrepreneur. She's just amazing. The reason why I liked her is because of the truths that she speaks about the industry, the way that she's able to do her work and everything of that nature. Even Shadeke Liberty from YoTV, I liked it because of her honesty. I liked the fact that she has done so much, yet she's still able to be so humble to take in an interview with someone who still has way less followers than her, but she's able to just be like, this is what's going on in the industry and this is how we're going to solve it. So people are able also to be honest within their conversations as well. So those are the type of factors I look for when I want to interview a person.
And when just reading and getting myself well acquainted with your work, I see that mostly it is authenticity. You one person who's always looking for authenticity in everything. So Zama, unfortunately, our time is out, but I had a great time this interview.
Thank you.
I'll be following your work, and I'm sure the people who will be watching on YouTube, they will also follow your work. Just in closure, where can people find your, in closing rather, how can people get hold of you and your work? And just your last words.
My work, okay, you can follow me on social media, literally, Itheku Connect. That's all you need to know. Itheku Connect, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, Itheku Connect. That's where you can literally just find my platforms. And in closing, always believe in yourself and always believe in your work, because at the end of the day, you are your own greatest supporter. So whatever you do, guys, just always believe in yourself and just know that, you know what, we are here to take over the world. Let's just do it.
And we're going to take over one day at a time, literally like one day, no pressure, as you were just saying, that we need to be patient with ourselves. But thank you so much, Zama, for joining us. Thank you to Tato, thank you to Vuyo. I see they've joined us, and I know that Nos would have actually liked to be part of us today, but since we cannot control the nature and everything, so people may follow, guys, Itheku Connect in various social media platforms, on Facebook, Itheku Connect, Twitter at Itheku Connect 01, Instagram at Itheku Connect, and you can catch Zama on various social media platforms. Facebook, she's Zama Khumalo. On Twitter, Miss_Vivicious. On Instagram, it's Mamkumzi. Yes, I hope I'm Mamkumzi. So, guys, thank you so much for joining us. The video will be made available on YouTube, and continue to follow the Lockdown Chat every Thursday, 6 p.m. and also 5 p.m. every Thursday. Thank you so much for joining us. God bless you.
Thank you.